I can't do this shit anymore.
It's probably just a power outage.
The network going down and you getting orders to go to DC, which you ignored by the way, is not just a power outage.
We all got the call. It was probably just a glitch in the system. I'm needed here.
You're not needed anywhere.
Paul.
You know I don't trust the division. I can't. Between Keener and first wave assholes, the network, fucking Isaac, constant reminders that Directive 51 was a terrible idea gone too far.
So what do you want to do, Rhodes?
I want you to stop justifying the bullshit, Lau, and take some goddamn responsibility. Not too bad. Comms still work. Garden seems to be mostly intact. Rain barrels are full and the sandbags didn't break, lucky there. And only a couple broken windows where the cardboard failed.
Thanks for the headphones, Paul. They helped a lot.
You're welcome. Let's see how our neighbors are doing. This is Rhodes. Anyone out there? Just wanted to check in and see if you need anything. Over.
Hey, Paul. Yeah, we're all good in here in the bunker. Could use some more bottled water and a pair of dry pants, but otherwise we're okay. The guards and supplies you sent over really saved our butts. Over.
Yeah, I'm sick of this shit, Roy. I know you and Faye butt heads. It's not about Faye. I can deal with Faye. But I don't trust the people she works for. You know that. We have to work together. It's the only way through this. You don't know that. Maybe this is the mistake. Trusting that the same people who thought Directive 51 was a good idea, same assholes who ordered the dark zones and the quarantine, continuing to trust them, that's the mistake. Paul. I'm done. I can't keep doing this shit. What do you want to do? I gotta get the fuck out of here. Where you gonna go, Paul? They're opening the Battery Park dark zone. The JTF platoon is going on a recon mission to see if there's anything left to salvage. You want to be a soldier now? No. I just gotta get out of here before I say something to Faye that I can't take back. I swear, the more I get to know her, the less I trust her. And I can't keep working for people I don't trust. We need to talk.
That's never good.
You're gonna need to find a new lackey.
You leaving, Rhodes?
Benitez already told you.
He gave me a heads up. He trusts me. I know it's been hard for you here. You haven't been happy for a long time.
I've never been happy.
At least you're honest.
You need me to train my replacement or something?
We'll manage. Go ahead. You quit on us a long time ago. Help out your new settlement. Maybe you'll find whatever it is you're looking for.
Whatever, Lau. You gotta stop thinking you know what's best, what's right. No one knows what's best and what's right. We all got our specialties and areas of expertise, but like I don't know shit about growing carrots. I'll eat them, but I don't know when you're supposed to cut the tops off or replant them.
That's not how you grow carrots.
See? I don't know shit about this stuff, but I can set up a power grid and repair those turrets. We all have jobs to do, but that doesn't mean we need to stay in our lane and not try to learn from each other. If only one of us knows how to grow the food and we lose that person, we lose that knowledge. We gotta respect and trust and learn from one another. And if someone feels like they're doing too much or not being listened to, we need to figure out if that's real or if they're just full of shit and a pain in my ass. Not to get all hippy-dippy on you, but we're a community. We need to build each other up. There are enough things out there trying to tear us down. How we looking? Well, your security could use a few upgrades, and your power relays are a mess. What do you mean? Pretty sure someone got a little too happy with the electrical tape. I'll need to rewire the boxes, but that should take maybe half a day. Do we really need to be down for half a day? I mean, we could leave it this way, but the next big thunderstorm, we could be looking at flooding and exposed wires, and that's just a recipe for electrocuted kids. Guess we have to fix it. Your wiring sucks, but I'm really impressed with your supplies. You got quite a warehouse and enough components that we should be able to fix the existing grid and double its capacity. When can you start? I get working on this first thing tomorrow. Hey, Agent.
Rhodes, is that you? The hell are you doing down here?
Finding a new way.
Okay, you gonna let me in?
Sorry.
Sorry?
You're not welcome here.
Oh, come on, Rhodes.
These people count on me to keep them safe, and I've seen you in the field. I I can't let you in.
Have it your way, Rhodes. You'll be sorry I'm not here to protect you when Rikers come knocking on your door.
Okay. Take care now. We'll handle the Rikers on our own, thank you. Switch to thermal. All right, what are we looking at?
Looks like 5 Rikers headed for the perimeter.
Armed?
Couple of assault rifles and a nail gun.
Guy with the nail gun's got a shield.
Yeah.
All right, keep an eye on him. If they start trouble, take him out first. Then use the MG on the assault rifles. Hold until they're on the line. Then turn on the floodlights. That should give you a moment to assess. Plus, they won't see shit.
Got it.
With any luck, we won't need to fire a single round. I sure hope that's the case. We need to waterproof, elevate, and tie down the generators.
Already done. And I built a polytunnel for the garden so it doesn't get waterlogged.
Smart. Rain barrels?
Set up, strapped, and ready for collection.
Screens over the intake?
We weighed them down with sandbags, which might not be the smartest if one of them tears and we get sand in the barrel, but it should work for now.
Windows?
Covered with plywood, or cardboard when we ran out of plywood.
Okay. I think we're ready for this hurricane. As ready as we can be, at least. You got everything you need?
Sure. I grew up in Iowa. This is my first hurricane.
Well, you get tornadoes, and they're way scarier than this shit.
I guess you're right, but no one ever drowned in a tornado.
Unless you're unconscious and it drops you off in a lake.
If you're trying to make me feel better, it's not working.
Look, it's not that bad. Think of it like a big thunderstorm.
I hate thunderstorms.
Okay. Well, you want to survive, stay out of the basement. If we have a flood, the basement will be the first to flood. You want to hide from the thunder, I got some black metal and headphones. Find the most central spot you can, away from the walls and the roof, radio me your location, and just ride out the storm listening to music.
Thanks, Paul. I owe you one.
Have any holiday plans?
I'm thinking about heading back to New York to see my parents.
Don't forget to bring a surgical mask. I hear there's a nasty bug going around.
Yeah, I'm a little worried if I'm being honest. Well, that's great. My flight got canceled.
Probably for the best. I don't think it's a good idea to fly into New York right now.
Is it really that bad?
It's not looking good. Sarah's talking about quarantine procedures.
Maybe I owe TSA an apology for the scathing voicemail I just left their department head. Well, shit. I didn't expect the virus to hit us here.
I heard both Bill and Mika came down with the flu, and that's why everyone's quarantined.
Yeah, that's some really bad news, both for them and for the project. It's gonna take so much longer to get everything done with these restrictions.
Guess that's what they get for having an office affair.
Cold.
Not my fault they decided to start cheating with each other and came down with a dollar flu. Did you get the non-essential slip?
Nope. I'm stuck here. You?
Same. Guess you're stuck with me.
You think we'll actually get this reactor built?
Yeah. Not really worried about that, but I have my doubts that we'll have the antiviral. Can't manufacture doses of the vaccine without the vaccine.
Do you think the DCD won't find a solution?
We still don't have a vaccine for AIDS, and that's been killing people for 30 years. Did we get delivery of those new seals?
Yep. They're over there.
That shit's fire for sure. We're gonna have this reactor up and running way before we have anything to run through it.
Right. We'll be prepared.
Yeah, prepared to watch the world burn while the DCD keeps failing to find a viable solution.
Yeesh. Salty much?
Of course I am. How many people am I supposed to watch die before it's okay to be pessimistic?
I'm gonna report you for creating an uncomfortable work environment.
Oh, sure. What are they gonna do, write me up? Then you can install these seals yourself. Who the hell do you plan on reporting me to anyway? HR was deemed non-essential.
What happened to this place? Even the food court is dead. You'd think we weren't working in the world's biggest office building during lunch or something.
Offhand, I'm gonna guess. A plague of biblical proportions rose up and wiped the stain of our country off the map.
Why do you always have to be so fucking dark?
It's in my nature to tell the truth.
Did you hear about Bill?
Like what, him and Mika? Yeah, we talked about it a while back.
No, I mean... He passed yesterday. He'd been in quarantine for some time. Security cremated him and buried him in the center courtyard.
Damn. I feel kind of bad for joking about him and Mika now. How's she doing?
Pretty bad. But she's still holding on.
Do you think this will actually work?
If I didn't, I wouldn't be here. I'd be holed up out in Shenandoah waiting for everything to blow over.
Was that an option for you?
Yeah. My family has a place out there.
Shit. I would have joined them.
That's you. Well, you and the power of hindsight. Besides, you weren't invited.
And with that, I think we're done.
Give the seals another check.
I've been over them 4 times. Everything's buttoned up.
No harm in checking again. The DCD still doesn't have an antiviral that's effective. Yet.
Fine. At least the work keeps me from thinking about how bad things really are.
What? They're evacuating the staff?
Our part's done. Reactors built and tested.
I kind of figured they keep us on in case they need to run it.
You've seen the Sarah reports. The government is all but gone. The president's dead. The Veep offed himself. No one's coming to save us. This is the end times.
I've had enough of your negativity.
I don't give a fuck. We're the idiots playing violins while the Titanic sinks.
Nice.
No, it's not. None of this is nice. It's fucked. We're all fucked. And now we're getting pink slips and sent out into a world filled with disease, famine, warlords, and psychos. Now is not the time to be nice. It is too fucking dangerous to be optimistic. It's only going to get you killed.
She flunked the psych eval with flying colors. I've never scored anybody that low.
Imagine how bad things would have to get for Directive 51 to be activated. Every other option would have to fail. Every single one. Now you tell me Kelso isn't exactly the kind of person you'd want beside you in a scenario like that.
She's pathologically insubordinate.
That's an exaggeration. She's only insubordinate to people she doesn't respect.
Are you listening to yourself?
Well, that's kind of the point, isn't it, Tom? You don't call in the division if you've got a solid command structure in place. And if you have a failing command structure, the last thing you want is someone who's going to blindly carry out bad orders.
I've already passed her. I'm just praying I don't regret it.
You won't. Well, let's hope we never have to find out.
The chances the disease has reached that area are pretty low, but not zero, so stay the hell away from anybody with flu-like symptoms.
You're scaring me, Alani.
Good. That's what I'm trying to do.
Mama was in New York in October.
They're pretty sure the outbreak started in late November. And if Mama was exposed, she'd have shown symptoms long before now.
Okay. I'll head into town this afternoon.
Remember, dry and canned goods are the priority. Assume you might have to make do for months.
I sure hope you're overreacting.
So do I, Tutu.
Okay, so where do we stand?
Basically, everybody outside about a 50-mile radius of DC is completely cut off from the network. Completely.
What do we do about it?
First, we need to assess the full scope of the damage, which means going places that won't be easy to get to.
Because they're in hostile territory.
It's not just that. The flooding did a lot of damage, especially underground, which is where most of our infrastructure is located.
You think it was flooding that caused the network to go down?
Not a chance. This was deliberate.
What about you? What was your moment?
My moment?
That made you want to join up?
Oh, Hurricane Aniki. I was just a kid, but I still have nightmares about it.
You wrote it out?
We didn't have a choice.
Damn.
It wasn't just the storm, though. There was no power for months. Roads out, houses collapsed, or with their roofs torn off.
I can see how that would have been a formative experience.
Yeah, but it wasn't just the bad. It brought our community together. We made some friends for life that we might never have got to know otherwise. Plus, there was still a world out there. You knew there were places you could go where everything was just fine. That makes a difference.
What's wrong? You seem a little down.
It's nothing.
Oh, don't give me that. Something's on your mind.
It's none of your business, Manny. Jesus.
It is my business because it affects me when you're moping around like this.
You want to know what I'm thinking?
Yes, that's why I asked.
I'm thinking I chose wrong. That I'm in the wrong place doing the wrong things.
What are you talking about?
Being here, in D.C., instead of being home with my family.
I know the feeling. I think everybody does. I'm not sure if this is the right choice, but it isn't the wrong one. And that counts for something.
That might be the least stupid thing you've ever said.
I have my moments.
It's stupid, but it's less stupid than usual.
I'll accept that.
Oh, that's easy. Malasadas.
What are malasadas?
Portuguese donuts, basically, but that's doing them a disservice. My friend's mom made the best ones I've ever had. God. I wonder if she's still alive.
I'm sure she's fine. I mean, it's an island, so it's completely feasible they managed to keep the virus out. Plus, doesn't Kauai have like a 365-day growing season? They got really good odds.
You're probably right.
Of course I'm right.
I'm literally about to cry because there's a chance I can eat my friend's mom's malasadas again someday. How pathetic is that?
Not even a little bit, Kelso.
Thanks, Manny. And by the way, it's Kauai. Was the sheriff here?
Just left.
Where to?
Wherever there's shit needing to be done, I guess. There's certainly no shortage.
We got lucky, didn't we?
Lucky?
When the network went down, it could have been the end of everything. But we got exactly the help we needed.
Yeah. It's nice to finally have a competent agent in town.
Ha ha. You got me. She still hasn't spoken yet?
Not a peep.
I guess it's not exactly shocking considering what she's been through. Are you sure it's not medical?
I mean, we aren't exactly state-of-the-art here, but we haven't found any problems.
What can we do for her?
Teresa's been working with her as much as she can. Activities mostly. Painting, games, that kind of thing.
Is it helping?
Yeah, for sure. But it's a process, and Teresa has a lot on her plate. Maybe if you can stop by sometimes?
Me?
The only time that little girl lights up is when you're around.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
I know you're busy.
I'll make time. I think they were counting on steamrolling us, which they didn't manage to do.
They came pretty damn close.
These guys specialize in low-exposure ops. Get in, do the job, get out. The last thing they'd want is to get caught up in a drawn-out engagement that ties up their assets and limits their adaptability.
Maybe, but they seem to have a lot of assets.
They've got bigger ambitions than just DC. And a quick, efficient, symbolic victory here would help them sell themselves as liberators.
You think they care about that?
I think their plan depends on them looking like the good guys. Why else would they hook up with Ellis? He gives them legitimacy, which means fewer people fighting against them and more people fighting alongside them.
Against the bad guys, meaning us.
Meaning anyone that gets in their way. But especially us.
Major Ridgway, I want to come back to something you said earlier. Your specific words were they, referring to the operational planners. Weren't prepared to solve the problem. Do you remember saying that? I do. Do you mean that they underestimated the amount of assets that would be needed to complete the job?
It wasn't just about manpower or firepower. It was about willpower. They saw the enemy in the wrong terms.
What terms were those?
They viewed them as a military obstacle that required a military solution. As a belief, a mistaken belief that had to be disproven if we wanted our enemy to abandon it. It's not easy. It takes conviction, commitment, willpower.
Huh. How did you see them?
As a belief, a mistaken belief that had to be disproven if we wanted our enemy to abandon it.
Can you disprove a belief?
It's not easy. It takes conviction, commitment, willpower. Mr. Vice President, you asked to see me?
Colonel, it's a pleasure to meet you in person. Thank you for making time.
I'm at your service, sir.
Let me speak frankly. If we don't get this outbreak under control right quick, there's a good chance we're not coming back from this.
I agree with your assessment, sir.
Then I hope you won't be shocked to hear I'm recommending a mandatory quarantine in D.C.
Well, that won't be popular.
The question is, can it be done?
Not without adversity, but it can be done.
Then do it. I'm putting you in charge.
Me, sir?
Can you think of anyone better for the job?
No, sir.
I'll want a full report on what you want to do and what you need to make it happen.
Colonel, what you did was an atrocity.
You weren't there, General. You didn't see what we saw.
Don't give me that horse shit.
It's easy to pass judgment from the comfort of a federal shelter or sitting on a court-martial panel.
You had a responsibility to those people.
I had a responsibility to my men. Was I supposed to look them in the eye and tell them it made sense for them to risk getting sick? Dying? For what? Bunch of strangers that weren't likely to make it through the winter anyway?
What about the doctors? Construction crews? It wasn't just infected people, you goddamn murderer. You had orders to keep them safe.
Orders? Do you know why my men follow me, General? Because they know I won't throw their lives away. That if they're loyal to me, I'll be loyal to them. A commander who isn't loyal to his men isn't worthy of command.
Face the wall.
I am still your superior. You will address me as sir.
Face the wall, or you be beaten within an inch of your life, sir.
You seem to have a bit of an attitude problem, soldier.
You seem to have a problem following simple instructions, Colonel. This is your last warning. Face the wall.
Whatever you say, son. You're the big man in here.
Colonel Ridgway, it's good to see you, sir.
Masters, what are you doing here?
Breaking you out of this shithole, sir.
That's very decent of you, Corporal.
Being decent is my greatest ambition, sir. Shall we get you the hell out of here?
No, not just yet. Let's liberate these other soldiers from their cells. See if any of them are interested in joining the greater cause.
Yes, sir.
You keeping up with the news, Antoine?
Yeah, can't stomach it.
My daddy was at Saigon in 75. He talked about this kind of thing. Beginning of the end, but nobody's ready to admit it.
Because they aren't ready to survive it.
That's what they got us for.
Anybody believe that's in for a nasty surprise?
You ain't sticking around?
Oh, I'm sticking around. I got my men to look after. Everybody else, though, they can fend for themselves. Because many of you are new to the unit, I want to go over the ground rules. The rules apply to all of us, and they are to be obeyed without fail. Rule number 1, the unit is sacred. Anyone who disrespects a true son is an enemy of all true sons. Rule number 2, every soldier fights. There's no place among us for cowards and malingerers. Rule number 3, readiness is obligatory. A true son must be prepared for action at all times. Equipment properly maintained, well-rested, well-fed, sober. Obey these rules and you will prosper. Violate them and you will suffer consequences. Dismissed.
Were you able to recover the Master Sergeant's body?
Most of it. By the time we got to him, they'd cut his head off.
As a trophy?
Hell if I know. I assumed it was psychological warfare.
Huh. Was it at this time that you called in the fire mission on the village?
It was?
Because you were taking fire?
Sure, that's what I reported.
You lied?
I said what was necessary. We had to bring the hammer down fast.
Weren't you concerned about collateral damage?
I was hoping for it. What the division understands that JTF command never did is that this is war. Our rules of engagement were based on the fool notion that we were policing a civilian population. Meanwhile, factional warfare was raging all around us, and we were in a crossfire. It's all because our commanders weren't out there with us. They were holed up in bunkers, staring at maps and reading reports and drawing diagrams on whiteboards, making assumptions, and getting men killed. Firing squads are too good for those cowards. The old world is gone, and I say we're better off. It was a world for schemers and manipulators and exploiters, for cheats and liars and parasites. Our enemies oppose our cause. They detest our methods, but they can't say we lack integrity or conviction. We may be brutal, merciless, but we are honorable. This world, the new world, is for those willing to work for it, Fight for it. Stand their ground, regardless of the cost. Even if it means being hated, even if it means being at war the rest of your days.
We are here to answer one essential question. Did the defendant, David Campbell, murder Jessica Tempova on the afternoon of September 21st? Did he force entry into her Woodbridge apartment after she threatened to call the police? Did he stab her 36 times as she tried to fight him off? Did he then dismember her and dump her remains? The evidence you will see and the testimony you hear will lead to the only possible answer to this question. David Campbell is guilty. He stalked Jessica for weeks after they broke up. He left threatening voice and text messages. He vandalized her car. And when none of that convinced her to take him back, he murdered her. This monster deserves to be punished.
We captured another 16 people today. That's 34 in the last 5 days. It's a lot of extra mouths to feed.
Why are we feeding them?
We aren't going to get a lot of work out of them if we don't.
Get whatever use out of them you can. Then dump their bodies somewhere our enemies will find them.
You want to piss them off so they'll fight harder?
I want to horrify them. Make them fear us. Because fear will weaken them.
You're right. You're right.
We have to be monsters. It's the only way we can get justice. Harlan, do you know if we have any more glycine?
Still having trouble sleeping?
It's nothing.
Okay. I'll see what I can dig up.
I still hear her voice sometimes. At night. Crying out for me.
I'll find something for you. I promise. Why are we even talking about this?
Because it's important. If something happens to me.
Nothing's gonna happen to you.
Harlan, stop it. If something happens, if I'm killed, you need to use it.
Use it?
To hold people together. To galvanize them.
Make a martyr of you.
Exactly. Because otherwise it could all fall apart. It has to mean something. I need to know that it means something.
Of course it means something. Of course it does.
It has to. Where's my daughter?
Ma'am, step away from the fence.
Just tell me where she is. Please.
What's her name?
Shaw. Savannah Shaw.
Shaw? She's in the morgue.
No. That can't be true.
Look, I'm sorry. Truly. But you need to get back.
I'll kill you. All of you.
Ma'am, I have orders to shoot anyone who approaches the perimeter.
All of you!
What are we gonna do with him? We can't let him go. People want payback. And this kid's JTF.
I know.
We have to make an example of him. Publicly.
You mean I have to?
Yeah. I mean you have to. Like it or not, you're the one people look to. So it's on you to show them the way.
Then I'll give them an example they won't forget. Have you forgiven them?
Never.
Of course not. How could you? How could anyone forgive what they did to us?
But there's a difference between hating someone and hurting them.
You don't think they deserve to be punished?
That's not what I'm saying. Of course they do.
Who has the right to punish them if not us?
I don't know.
It's not just our right. It's our obligation. To those that didn't make it. Do you understand?
I understand.
Have you read this?
What is it?
A report on JTF's investigation of how Ridgway was handling the quarantine. This is what sent him to jail.
So? What's your point?
You've been painting JTF as the devil. Well, one of many devils. How do you think people would react if they saw this?
Burn it.
What?
Burn it. Burn every copy you find.
Leave it to me.